Engelbert asks, was it true that Jerry Lawler was trying to book himself versus Elvis Presley for the Mid-South Coliseum not too long before Elvis died? And are there any other celebrities other than Andy Kaufman that Lawler tried to book?
I'd heard the Lawler and Elvis story, but that was I think a year after I had left, and almost maybe a year or two, or maybe 3 years or 4 years before I came back. But I did hear that Elvis was a huge, huge wrestling fan, as was at that time everybody in Memphis. If you didn't watch wrestling, you didn't know really what was going on. It was like one of those local events that everybody knew it was there, and whether everybody came or not is according to the cards you had. But everybody was more or less accepting of wrestling and respected it. And as far as him knowing or having Elvis in a match, I think I'd heard he had contacted Colonel Tom Parker, which was his manager. And I don't think the money was right, because I don't think Memphis could guarantee the money that he would get in Vegas. I think that was the main thing. But I think if the money was there, I think we would have seen Jerry Lawler and Elvis in a ring either together or against each other. I don't think we'd have, but Lawler was a big, big heel then. So him booking himself against Elvis, I don't know what they would have done with that, but it would have been a big, big draw. If they'd have had pay-per-view in those days, I think they'd have done 100,000 pay-per-views just off Memphis. It's what I think. But I did hear about it, and I think also that Elvis was sick, very sick by that time, and he had a lot of problems. So, but in answer to the question, I heard about it, and I wish they had done it or been able to do it, because I would have liked to have seen it.
Elvis would have had, depending on the month around that time, the weight advantage as well. So, and he had all those karate moves. So you never know.
I think Elvis would have blown up on the way to the ring. And if you watch him late in his career, he was a profuse perspirer. He sweated a lot. And I don't know what they had to do his makeup a couple of times during the set because he would sweat it off. You know, a lot of things about, I'd heard about Elvis, and this is not wrestling, but Tom Parker took him to Vegas, and he was one of the first performers to sign an exclusive contract at a casino there. But he signed him at a price at later on. I think he signed him for 4 years, 3, 4, or 5 years. But the other performers started making more money than Elvis. Elvis was still outdrawing them, but they were getting like 100,000. He was getting 50,000. So
well,
that
he had a I don't know 50-50 split, didn't he, with the Colonel?
They sure did. They sure did. And the Colonel knew what he had. The Colonel knew what money box he had. 50-50. But and I don't know if the Colonel made him. Elvis made himself more. I think it didn't matter who had Elvis at the time. I think that Elvis would have been just as big a success with or without Tom Parker. I can't say for sure, but he was one of those once-in-a-generation performers that didn't matter what manager he had, he was going to make it anyway.
Yeah, definitely.
It's like me and you, James. You know, somebody was going to discover us somewhere.
Yeah, we are two once-in-a-generation talents, I think.
And I bet the people saying, thank God.